Hi, everyone. Casey Goetz alongside Chief Meteorologist Dave
Hello.
Dierks. Is this the first time you've been in the podcast studio?
I think it has, definitely, but I like what you all have done with the place.
Well, you know what? We're just visitors in here, but Kristen and I do our off-air
Right.
podcast in here. You know, Heather uses this for prep picks and other segments, and you're
Why
in
the heck
here.
would you draw me in here?
Well, you tell us. I think you're sharing some exciting and bittersweet news.
I
The floor is
do.
yours.
Mixed emotions,
Yeah.
Casey, because I have made a decision with, some great forethought and preparation before I made the announcement. My wife Natalie and I decided that maybe this would be a good time to enter that new chapter in our lives, and I am going to be leaving as chief meteorologist from WCYB, but not for a while. It's going to be later next year, but I want to kind of get the word out a little bit so people aren't necessarily hearing it, whispers of it, grapevine, stuff like that. We want to just get it out there, but not to worry, I'm not going to disappear tomorrow.
So just to double check, make sure everybody's clear.
Yeah.
Dave is going to be leaving the station,
Right.
but not until August of 2026.
Yeah.
So it's like 9 months down the line.
About 10 months, I
10
think,
months.
right? Yeah.
Well, it is November.
10.
Yeah, okay.
Almost 10 months
Yeah.
anyway. But you know why we decided on August, at least one of the reasons, is I want to stick around for the big WCYB anniversary, 70th anniversary, which will be coming up in August.
August 13th.
Right.
WCYB will turn 70. Dave will stay through that anniversary, finish out the month, and you are not 70. Also, let's put that rumor to rest.
Right. I can remember some years ago, back when WCYB had its 60th anniversary.
Yeah.
Everybody remembers PJ Johnson,
Yes.
right? And so we did a Facebook post, had the big sheet cake of our anniversary, 60 years. And PJ somehow made it look like on the post that, because I was in the picture holding the cake, that it was my 60th birthday.
Cake.
Yeah,
yes.
right.
Yeah.
But I mean, now that wouldn't be so bad. It wouldn't be.
You would take that. You're like, yes.
Yeah, exactly. But back then I was going, PJ,
Yeah.
you are really trouble.
Yeah.
But he's still, I talked to him yesterday, as a matter of fact, and he brought that up yesterday. We still laugh about that.
That was almost 10 years ago now.
Everybody's going, Dave, you look so good for 60. You look so good for 60. Well, thank you. I'm only 50 or whatever it was back then.
So when did you start? When was your first day at WCYB?
Back in 1987. I don't know what day exactly. It was in February of 1987. Fresh, just about fresh out of college. I had got my degree in meteorology from Iowa State University. And
Go Cyclones.
Yeah, go Cyclones. Boy, they're letting me down.
Football.
Man, they were starting so strong this year in the football. But anyway, we'll worry about them whenever. But I got my foot in the door in broadcasting, doing weekend weather first at the WOI station in Ames, which was owned by the university at the time, Iowa State. And then I got a job offer to do weekends at the number one station, KCCI, which is in Des Moines market as well. I loved it there. I loved my job. I loved weather, but I didn't get offered a full-time gig. And so that's when I just decided I had to start sending tapes out all over the country. And I didn't get a job for a long time. I was beginning to wonder, maybe this wasn't God's direction for me. Maybe I should think of a different direction for my meteorology degree. But then I got my a phone call from Steve Hawkins, who was the news director at the time, and wanted to know, this is about probably a good 6 months to a year into looking for a full-time job. And he wanted to know if I'd like to come here for an interview.
And you're like, where?
I had actually, I can't say I'd ever been to Kingsport, Bristol, Johnson City, Tri-Cities. I was familiar with the Southern Appalachians because when I was growing up, my family my dad would take us to Florida on a couple of occasions, and we'd stop in Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge and do a little tour there before we went to Florida. He's either going or coming. I can't remember which way it was, but so I knew of the area and I loved the mountains because I was pretty flat. So I was thrilled to death to get that.
But did you know anybody when you came here?
Not a soul.
Not a soul. Now look at you. 38 years later, you're still here. Well, you met your wife here at WCYB, right?
Yeah, she was actually from Blacksburg. Came down and just happened to get a job as a production assistant at WCYB. This is probably maybe a year or two max after I had gotten here, and she was running the cameras. Now we don't have anybody running the cameras.
We don't.
Everything
all
is
robot,
all automatic. Goodness, thank goodness for slow technology back then, right?
Or if that technology was then, you would have met Natalie.
I'd have been married to some robot probably. So anyway, so we got got going and decided we were going to make a family, and well, we had to get married first.
Yeah.
She said we had to do that.
You got to listen to Natalie when she speaks.
She's a smart gal, and really wonderful lady. But yeah, then I just decided that this is where I was going to raise our family. We had Austin and Taylor, and the people here have been super wonderful. I mean, they welcomed me from the get-go with open arms, and I knew when I got here that this was home.
I'm sure when you got here, though, you probably never in your wildest dreams imagined you would have been here for 38 plus years working at WCYB.
No, I mean, it'll be 39 years in February that I'll have been here.
Yeah.
When you're 23 years old, you don't even think about what 40 years down the road who's thinking about 40 years down the road when you're 23? Is that right? Yeah.
You probably were thinking about the next 3 weeks.
Yeah. Well, maybe a little bit beyond
that. Where am I going to be at? We're learning the lay of the land. And then, what do you imagine? If, somebody would have come to you and said, Dave, welcome aboard. You're going to be here for almost the next 4 decades.
Yeah. No, I didn't have that in mind at the time.
But it becomes home after a while.
Right, yeah. Exactly. You know what it is now to have a family and young, and now with you and Kelly. So, I mean, and it's a great place to raise your kids and to have a family in the Tri-Cities.
How has meteorology, technology, with what you do, how has it changed from the late 80s to where we are now?
I mean, just from the standpoint of how we deliver the news, that has changed dramatically. I mean, when I first came here, there was chroma key, but it was just kind of new. We had it. That was a new thing. But if you think about it back then, we only had 2 newscasts, a 6 o'clock half-hour newscast and 11 o'clock newscast. And think about how that has evolved into, just now we have an hour and a half between 5 and 6:30, another hour and a half from 10 to 11:30. And technology has also allowed for the way forecasts are made and analyzed, with numerical weather prediction and forecast modeling. The forecasts have gotten a lot better as far as us data that we're able to analyze and make forecasts, and with AI coming up, that's even going to make a whole new ball game in forecasting as well.
Well, you don't have to worry about that.
No, well, I got plenty of artificial intelligence right here. I think that's what I live on. That's my gasoline. Artificial intelligence.
I'll tell you, one of the things that I appreciate with you. I mean, I've worked with you for almost 15 years.
Right.
And to think that's not even half the time you've worked here, which is crazy, all the people you've worked with over the years. But you and I, we've done Friday Night Rivals, the kickoff games for 7-8 years now. Right. All the different events we're out, whether it's the Appalachian Fair, Storm Tracker, wherever. The thing I get such a kick out of when we're out somewhere and everyone's just always talking to Dave. I mean, I'm just there. But anyway, when it's hey, I remember you came to my school when I was in 3rd grade and this person's 40 years old.
That is the worst and the best, right? It's such an humbling
because you made an impression on them.
Yeah, exactly. But then it's also signaling to the artificial intelligence up here that I'm getting old, man. I'm getting old.
It's wait a second, I talked to you when you were in 3rd grade, and what are you now? Oh, I'm 42. But so it's always I get a kick out of when those comments, because you do appreciate it. But like you said, it also makes you think of, wow, that was a long time ago.
I love our viewers, though. Rarely, I can't even remember the last time someone said something mean about me or us in general. It's just a wonderful place, and really
it's the contrary, especially whenever there's major events. Many people say thank you so much for what you do to keep us safe, whether it was I remember the tornadoes in 2011 or the Helene recently, right, and all the different snowstorms over the years, the blizzard. I know you had the blizzard in 93 here.
The superstorm of 93. That was, among the top 5 weather-related situations. Helene, obviously, number 1. That was just a horrible tragedy and its horrible destruction. And then the super tornado outbreak of 2011, that would be up there. You got to include the March 93 blizzard. That was just an unbelievable event that not only clobbered our area, but it went all the way from Alabama and Georgia all the way up into the Northeast.
I'll make you feel old. I was 8-year-old kid back then,
Right.
and it hit Pittsburgh.
Right.
My mom got a T-shirt for walking to work saying, "I survived the blizzard of '93."
And it was somewhere, I think it was Mount Mitchell and High Knob in North Carolina, Virginia, I'm sure some of the higher Tennessee mountains had 50 plus inches of snow, I believe, and it was just incredible event. And gosh, trying to think, another big event was the Gatlinburg and
the wildfires.
The wildfires there that did some just terrible destruction during that severe drought, and oh golly, the Carter County flood in '98, and then a week later we had just an incredibly heavy wet snow that was big snowflakes coming down about that size. Seriously, they were like silver dollar or bigger, and we got like 3 inches of snow an hour for a couple, maybe 2-3 hours. It wasn't like foot plus, but it was enough snow because it was so heavy. So much of the Tri-Cities was without power, and we were without power downtown Bristol for I think 2+ days. And I remember doing the newscast from the satellite truck because we didn't have a power at the station. But after that happened, we since got a big generator. So
that led to the station getting a generator.
That was
This was in 1998.
In 1998, yeah.
Okay.
And so now we don't even know if the lights go off.
No,
maybe a little blink and that's it.
We hear a little blink or a flashlight.
Right.
And wow, and also I think here for what you do doing the weather. This part of the country, we get all 4 seasons, and it can change so drastically.
Right.
I mean, even coming up these next couple of days, right? I mean, you're talking maybe 40, 50 degree difference in a couple of days.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the beauty of our area. Like you say, you get the 4 seasons, none of which is typically extreme. And when it is extreme, usually somewhere else, it's a whole lot more extreme. And yeah, weather can change in a dime. I mean, it does that in many, many different areas of the country, but what's nice about ours, I love our winters. I grew up in Iowa. I didn't hate it. I loved the snow when I was young, but I think about how cold it got. Wind chills, 30, 40 below was not an uncommon thing during the winter. At least a couple times, and snow. And when I came here, I quickly became acclimated to our winters. Here a couple inches of snow and we get excited.
It shuts things down.
Yeah. And I'm right along with everybody else.
Yeah.
I complain and say, wow, I hate this. But I know I do. I still like snow. I just like it that it's kind of a tempered climate and we get all 4 seasons.
All right. So to recap, Dave, you're going to be with us for almost 10 more months. So people have plenty of time. And as you mentioned, the 70th anniversary of the station is in August, and we're going to be doing things starting in the first of the year, kind of all throughout the year. But, obviously the actual birthday is in August. So a lot more to go. You have many more forecasts to do, 10 months worth. You're going to get the winter season. You'll get your spring, your summer. So, you still got 3 more seasons ahead of you.
Races to go through.
Rhythm and Roots. Well, no, you'll be done, but no, you won't.
But I'll be like an honorary.
You'll be an honorary
invited to be an
honorary. All the Christmas parades this year.
Oh yeah. Can't wait.
Yeah, so we got a lot more to do, but so you wanted to just kind of let people know now, put it on their radar, and again, we'll touch on it more in the months ahead.
Yeah, well, we're not going to bring it up a lot. No. It's something I don't really care for any spotlight, but we did want to just bring it, let people know that it was coming up down the road.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Dave. Congratulations on your decision.
Appreciate
and we look forward to working with you for many more months ahead.
All right. Sounds good.